If I had $1,000 to spend at Sephora, what would I buy? If you're curious to hear the answer, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène, and we are going shopping today. Well, at least we're going shopping in our imagination. I am doing Emily Noel's tag today, and that is the $1,000 Sephora shopping cart. And the idea here is that we are fantasy shopping. We are saying, if I had $1,000, could only spend it at Sephora, what is it that I would choose? And I had a lot of fun prepping for this video. I went back on my smartphone and redid my cart 3 times, if not 4. And quite a few items did make it every single time, but a few were swapped out. So I think it was really helpful for me to fill my cart. I think it was minimum 3 times, maybe 4. And it really helped solidify what it is that I wanted in that cart and why. And by the way, I did a few of those carts before my Canada sale recommendations. I'll put the video right here if you want to know what products I was recommending, and also a couple afterwards. And that's going to matter when we get into the items. Now, $1,000, Emily Noel is in the US, so I decided it was going to be 1,000 US dollars. And I wasn't sure if it was before or after tax. And so I made it so that it was after tax, so that the only thing I would be paying is $1,000 total. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's the way I went, because I figured $1,000 is $1,000. And in Canada, in Manitoba, my province, if you buy something, you have to pay taxes in the low teens, and so I made some allowance for that. I'm spending too much time on that. Let's get into the cart. So what I did was I went into the Sephora app on my phone and started adding things. And I added a bunch of stuff. I ended up at $2,500, no more than that, about $2,500 Canadian, and then started to reduce. So I just put anything and everything that I really wanted that I wouldn't buy at this point in my cart, and then started to cull the list. So this is definitely a refined and reduced list. Just before we get into what made it into the cart the 4th time, I do want to mention something that happened right before, well, at the Canada Day sale in Canada, and that is that this particular palette was in my dream cart, because this palette is usually $88 Canadian, and it's on for $52.50. Today's the last day, which is, we are the 6th of July. And so the first 2 times that I did this $1,000 cart, this palette was in it. And because of the sale, I was able to get it for $52.50, and I ended up, it's actually in my hands. One of my desires is in my hands. I thought that was so interesting. So needless to say, that palette is no longer in the cart because it is in my possession. So let's get into the cart. I have stalled enough. And let's get into the first item. And I'm going to be looking at my phone, but I'll put all the pictures here for you. And hopefully I've put the picture up for this one as far as the inside of the palette, which I will be showing you and swatching in an upcoming video. So have no fear, you will definitely see it in all its glory on this channel. Which, by the way, I will show you the inside of the palette and do the swatches sometime very soon. But we're going to go back to the cart now. Okay, the first item in the cart is the Brazilian Boom Boom Cream from Sol de Janeiro. It's just about a cup worth of product, and it's $59. And I would only purchase that cream around Christmas, when the really big tub becomes available and it's a lot more affordable. That is when I pick up that cream. So for me to pick it up regular price at some other time in the year, I consider that really expensive. So I would never ever pick it up other than when it's on that special deal. Because after all, it's a body butter. It's not anything earth-shattering. It just smells divine. The next one, now we're getting into a few bougie items. The next thing I added in my cart is the Guerlain Météorite Voyage Exceptional Compacted Pearls of Powder. This little compact, it's a nice size, but the compact is $236 Canadian. I have looked at that compact a number of times. I can usually get it 30 to 33% off at Shoppers if I chose, but even $236, even at 30% off, it's still nearly $200 after tax. It's just a lot of money, and there's no way, but if I'm supposed to be frivolous with my $1,000 and buy stuff I might not buy for myself, that would definitely make the list. I really like the Météorite from Guerlain, and this one is a refillable compact and certainly should be refillable at $236. It's gorgeous though. It's so beautiful. And it's a powder that really helps you refresh your makeup throughout the day, because it's a very flattering multi-colored powder. So yeah, I really do like the Guerlain pearls for sure. Next on the list is an item that I'm really interested in, and that is the Brow Blade Waterproof Pencil by Urban Decay. It's been on my list of things that I want to try for a while, and it's $35 Canadian. It's a lot of money, and it's a double-ended. So one is the traditional pencil, and another one is like a felt. I think it's felt, is to draw brow hairs. So it's a very fine pencil. And so it has really good reviews, and I would really appreciate the opportunity to try it. So that's why it's on the list. The next one down, I went mini, but I would like to try the mini gold. And part of why I want to try the mini gold is that green shadow in the set of 5 pans. And that is $33. I don't think that I would spring for the gold, and I think that you will understand very shortly why I would not go for the gold palette. So the next one that I would want to talk about is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, and I think you'll see that there are a lot of gold or nearly golds, like bronzy shadows in that palette. And you're getting a lot of value in that palette because it's 28 shades for the same price as the gold palette. So I would go more for the Metropolis. Would I like both? Sure. But out of the two, I think Metropolis is a better suits what I would want. Then there are a number of Urban Decay 24/7 glide-ons that I really want. I would like the Electric Empire. I would like the Perversion, which is a jet black liner. I would like the color Freak, which is a very limey green color. And I would also like to try the 24/7 Waterline pencil in Legend. And it would be the first waterline pencil that I've ever tried from Urban Decay. Now the waterline pencil is $28. And all the other pencils I mentioned to you are $29.50. $30 for an eyeliner is so insane to me. I tend to buy them when they're 40 to 50% off, and usually I can only get 1 or 2 at a time at that price. So I have just this continuous wish list of those pencils, and Freak and Empire will be mine, I tell you. And then the Perversion, mine's about this long now, and I'm hoping to get a sale for Perversion before my Perversion liner runs out. Expensive pencils, that's why they're on this list. Next, I have a few YSL items, and one of them is the Tatouage Couture Liquid Matte Lip Stain. And it's interesting because it's usually $49 Canadian. It's on sale right now for $29. So I get a few sales items in this $1,000 shopping cart. And I would go for the 101 Chrome Red Clash. I have heard wonderful things about this lip product. It did win an Allure Award. Very curious. And then right below that one is another YSL product, and it's the Touche Éclat Glow Shot liquid highlighter in number 1 Daylight. And it too is on sale from $50 down to $33. I would love to have a chance to try those two items. Then we get to a boring palette. I think it will surprise you. And because I have the original Naked 6-pan palette, it's kind of extra for me to want this one, but I do. And it's the Naked 2. And the Naked 2 is $38. Now, there's no way that I would buy that palette unless it was 50% off. So it's very luxury for me to consider paying full price for it. I really like the neutral mattes from Urban Decay, and that is why I like that palette. It is so convenient to pair it with other palettes that I want to work with, whether it's other Naked palettes, other Urban Decay palettes, or frankly, palettes from just about any brand in my collection. I think that the Naked 6-pan palettes are fantastic, and that's part of the reason why I did pick up the mini Naked Heat, Petite Heat, I think it's called. I picked it up a bit ago, and I will be featuring it at some point on this channel, I promise. Now, this next one I have wanted for a long time, and I blame Samantha March, along with a few other YouTubers who sing the praises of this palette. And it's the Cali Contour Palette by Smashbox. I love everything about this palette. I have stopped and looked at that palette in Shoppers Drug Mart so many times. It's $52. It's 6 items, 2 contour, 2 highlighter, and 2 blushes, but what I can see, it just, to me, it looks like perfection. Simple perfection for complexion products for the face. And when it comes to Smashbox, I like virtually everything they have as far as contour products. I know I will love it. I just can't pay $52. But if I can get it on sale, half off or something similar, yeah, I'm sure it will be mine. But it's beautiful. I love it, but I do find it expensive. Now here's a product that would be a repurchase, and that is the Becca Cosmetics Hydra Mist Set and Refresh, and it's in the color Original. And it is a mini. I'd be looking for the one that's $25. And that the reason for that is because the $25 one is exactly half the size of the full and exactly half the price minus $1. So the full size is $51, and I think it's $1 extra because it has a protector that is different from the packaging of the mini. And so the mini has 5 grams, the big one has 10, so exactly half, but slightly different packaging. But the nice luxury aspects of the packaging seems to be the same for both. Next up, I have a cream that I have raved about on this channel, and it is the Algenist Power Recharging Night Pressed Serum. There's that serum, and then there is the other one that is the Power Cream. Now, I would want to have a chance to see if the Recharging Night Pressed Serum has the same scent as the cream, the Power Cream. If it doesn't, I would go for the other cream because it's the Algenist, the beautiful light fragrance that is in their skincare that I absolutely love. And if it's just the cream, I would not be as interested in Algenist. To me, it feels like I'm doing my skincare, but I have a little spa moment at the same time. And so I am really partial to that slight fragrance. And it just makes my night routine so much more enjoyable. So if it has the fragrance, definitely the Recharging Night Pressed, and if not, the other Power Cream. And I picked the Power options because they were slightly cheaper than the Algenist cream in the green container. That one I think is $139, which I might be doing my dream list but I still can't help but be somewhat practical. Next up is a product that I really love, and the only time I've ever purchased it is in Christmas sets to do kind of a sampling. It's the Josie Maran Whipped Argan Oil body butter, and it's the 8-ounce container, so same size as the Sol de Janeiro container. And I would go in vanilla apricot, and it's $48. $48 for 8 ounces. It's not as expensive as Sol de Janeiro, but it's up there. And I have, like I said, used Josie Maran body butter before, and it is divine. I brought it a few times in those smaller containers from Christmas for travel. It is so, so nice to use. Your skin feels fantastic after application. So that's why it's on the list. Next up, I have the Perversion Waterproof Liquid Liner. I love the Perversion Mascara, the Perversion Liner, and so obviously I want to try the Waterproof Liquid Liner, and it is $29.50. It just looks like a good liner. It seems to have some pretty good reviews, and I wouldn't mind having a chance to give it a try. So that's why it's on the list. And we're going to end with a product that I've been coveting for quite a while, and it's the Dark Edit Eyeshadow Palette by Viseart. It's so beautiful. We're talking about 12 shadows, all deep mattes, and if anything, deep mattes from Viseart is something that I don't have in my collection. And it's in that mini format, which I really appreciate. I really like the minis from Viseart and the fact that you can move them around so that if you want to be extremely minimalist during travel, which if I'm going to South America or I'm just doing a weekend trip somewhere in North America, I don't want a huge makeup bag. And those little palettes, I can bring 2 of those 12 pan palettes and have the equivalent of a significant size eyeshadow palette in this much space and this thick. How else can you bring that many eyeshadows with you? I mean, I think that they are fantastic for somebody who likes variety and who likes to organize shadows the way they want to organize shadows, not necessarily the way the makeup brand decided to lay them out. So I highly recommend those minis from Viseart. I have quite a few of them, I think 4 at this point. And the Dark Edit is really speaking to me. I just can't pay full price for such tiny eyeshadows. So I need to get it on sale. So if I'm going to buy it full price, it has to be a fantasy, kind of like the Metropolis. And the next item is, it's a long title, the Mothership 8 Artistry Eyeshadow Palette Divine Rose 2 Collection. And I want that palette, number 1, for the packaging, number 2, for the multi-chrome, and number 3, for the rest of the color story. I think it is beautiful. I have a Pat McGrath palette already. It's the Mothership 5. I need to use it. I need to adore it. And it would not make sense to me with my own money that I have to decide to spend. It makes no sense to me to buy another Pat McGrath full-size palette if I have the Astral Quad and the Mothership 5 that I need to use and explore and really appreciate. I don't want to bring another Pat McGrath palette in the mix. But if somebody hands me $1,000 and says, go to town, it would be in my cart. So that's why it's in there as the final item. That's it. That is my cart. It comes to, no joke, $1,400 Canadian. So that's including the tax. So I just made it to the equivalent currency conversion for $1,000 US, including tax. I hope you enjoyed my selections. Were there any surprises? Do you think anything is missing based on what you know I lust after if you watch this channel? I would love to hear your thoughts, and if you care to, I would love to hear what your $1,000 shopping cart would look like. maybe not to the $1,000, but if there are a few things that you are keeping yourself from buying because they're so over the top that you just would not pull the trigger, I would love to hear what those are in the comments. I think this exercise of filling and clearing and filling and clearing this basket 4 times has been so much fun. And I think Emily said it best, but it's kind of like it's a fantasy. You're just fantasizing about what it is that you would get if you were basically handed $1,000 and, you know, here you go to town. And somehow, because I've tried those products on for size, it's kind of soothing too to say, yeah, I have all those desires, but they can stay in the store. I'll live. I'll give you an example. Some of those 24/7s, I've been salivating over them for, in some cases, well over a year, 18 months. And I just know that the time will come and some, maybe not all, but some of them will be mine at a price I can stomach. So we'll go from there. Well, anyway, thank you for indulging me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.